Today was a truly historic day here in the United States, and I want to break down why. But what you need to understand is that what happened today is very telling of what we could see in the very near future. So again, millions of Americans are going to be impacted because of decisions that are being made right now. And I want to break this down, so I'm going to do that in just a second. But all I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now let's begin. So today was very interesting. Look at this. Today was a day without immigrants. There were protests all over the country, including Los Angeles, in Seattle, in New York, and everywhere else in between. What I'm here to tell you is that we are now seeing a very different tone and a change, not just from the current administration, but from the American people as well. I want to read a few things to you. Look at this. It says, protesters have gathered in Southern California for the second straight day as a nationwide Day Without Immigrants movement got underway. Dozens of people waved mostly Mexican flags and some American flags while carrying pro-immigration signs gathered at City Hall in downtown Los Angeles before starting their march. Now, this was, it was very disruptive. And I want to show this to you. Again, I'm all for, everyone showing up, Day Without Immigrants. It was big, okay? This was big. This was much bigger than what we saw, the Day Without Immigrants was 2015, I believe, okay? But it says several businesses were said to be supporting a Day Without Immigrants movement, closing their doors and giving employees paid time off. Here's what you need to understand, though. Some of these businesses were not necessarily in support of this by closing. The reason why they were closing is because they had no other choice. They didn't have workers to actually fill in. Again, a huge problem. But this is what I've been saying for some time. If we do not have certain immigrants doing some of these jobs, then who's going to do them? Okay? Especially when it comes to any type of agricultural work. The majority of the agricultural workers are Hispanic. They're coming in from Mexico and South America, and many of which come in at the same time every single year, do their harvest, send the money back down to Mexico, and then when their harvest is done, they leave. Okay, they go back to Mexico and come back up the following year. Okay, I want to show this to you. Look at this right here. It says, businesses close. Children skip school for a Day Without Immigrants protest. Many people didn't go to work. Many kids didn't go to schools. I remember I talked to my son just a little bit ago. He said the school was pretty empty. A lot of people were missing. And I said, yeah, there was a reason for it. They didn't want to go to school, and because they were going to go and protest and let their voices be heard. Okay, but look at this. I want to show you this one as well. It says restaurants in multiple cities closing for one day to mark a Day Without Immigrants. Again, not just restaurants. Okay, we know car dealerships were closed. Restaurants, same thing. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier. He was saying he couldn't get his room cleaned at his hotel. He couldn't get it cleaned because there was nobody there to clean it. Something simple, something very easy, couldn't be done. Right? Towels. Sorry, we're out of clean towels. We don't have our maids here this week. Right? This week. Not today, this week. But listen to this comment. This was a comment that was left on someone else's channel. I want to read it to you because when I was reading this, I thought this was interesting. This person said, and I quote, I voted for Trump because I thought we needed to get our country back. We can't have millions of illegal immigrants roaming around doing whatever they want. But there must be some middle ground. I didn't think like this until just today. Here's why. I went to get my oil changed in my car. And it was closed. I went to another place and there was a 4-car wait. So I left. I then took my wife out to eat for lunch and was told they were only seating half the regular tables. And when we ordered, it took 45 minutes for our food to come out. And then, to make matters even worse, My daughter's car slid off the road on her way to work, and we can't get a tow truck out there until tomorrow because they're off today. I never realized how much my life would be impacted if immigrants weren't here. So again, I bring this up because I'm not trying to give you, tell you how to feel, how to think, right? Everyone's free to think any way they want to. But here's the thing. There are certain things in our everyday lives that they're tasks that immigrants do. Whether it's something as simple as operating a tow truck. Now, when I say simple, I'm not saying that's an easy job or whatever, but I've never done it. But it's something like that, right? Some maid not showing up to work, so the towels at the hotel can't be cleaned. There's no clean towels. And on top of that, there's nobody there to clean the rooms. Okay, nobody. They all took the day off, right? And now, we don't know if all these people, like the tow truck driver, the maids that clean the room, the people that do the laundry for the hotel, the wait staff at this restaurant, the people that work at the oil change place, at the mechanics. We don't know if they're actually illegal immigrants or they're here legally, but they were actually banding together, and their voices were heard because today was, again, the day without immigrants. And so I'm here to ask you, what did you do today that you were actually impacted because of? Okay, what was it? Did you go to McDonald's? Okay, I actually went to McDonald's this morning just to see, because I kept hearing a lot of people saying early this morning that McDonald's looks different. So I went to McDonald's, and the person that's normally there that takes your order, she wasn't there. Okay, it was somebody different, looked like a manager, but thought it was very interesting. But let me know, what did you do today that was different? Did you go and try to get your car cleaned and there was nobody there to clean it? Right? What did you do? Did you call somebody on the phone and it just wasn't working? Right? So you tried to get maintenance out to come fix it? Sorry, we can't do it today. Don't have any workers. Right? These are all things that would happen. Maybe your heat went out and you called a contractor to come and fix it, a heating specialist, and they said, sorry, we actually won't be out there until tomorrow. Yeah, these are all things that we take for granted. But I'm just here to tell you, we are about to see some major changes. Now, I've said this before, the Trump administration is trying to deport the hundreds of thousands, potentially millions of illegal immigrants back to their home countries. What we are now seeing, okay, we are now seeing that because of the tariff threat that President Trump put in place on Mexico and Canada, okay, both of which he has now paused this tariff on both Mexico and Canada for 30 days. This is actually big. And I say this because what we now know is Mexico is going to put a line of 10,000 military troops on the U.S.-Mexico border on the Mexico side to prevent people from sneaking across. Not only that, it's also going to prevent people from trafficking drugs into the United States. So again, these moves that were just made are massive. We could see many people go back to their home countries, some of which are going to leave voluntarily, some of which will be deported by the United States government. But here's the thing. We are all going to be impacted because of people leaving their jobs, leaving their communities, leaving their families, leaving everything that they've ever known, and going back, whether it's Mexico, Brazil, Guatemala, right? We don't know. All we know is that, according to reports, there's millions of people that are illegally here in the United States, and the Trump administration wants to send them back to their home countries, and then they can go through the proper channels, do all the paperwork, pay all the fees, and potentially come back into the United States legally. So, we'll see what happens, but let me know down in the comment section below. How was your life negatively impacted because of this Day Without Immigrants protest? I can tell you right now, one day is nothing. But if we send everybody back to whether it's Mexico or another country, we are going to see a lot of loss of jobs. We're going to see the economy completely change, and your lives will be forever be different. So We'll see what happens moving forward, but that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.